High-risk investment. Trading on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Market opinions. Any opinions, news, research, analyses, prices, or other information contained on this video is provided as general market commentary and does not constitute investment advice. Master the Markets will not accept liability for any loss or damage, including without limitation to any loss of profit, which may arise directly or indirectly from use of or reliance on such information.
All right, welcome to Live Trading Week. Today is day 3 of the Live Trading Week. Today, here we are on the different markets that we're going to be exploring so far. Just as a quick recap, for those of you who missed day 1 and day 2, we looked at the stretch principle. We looked at how to incorporate volume into that. We also looked at OE, open equity distance. We looked at 3 trades that we took live as well. One on the silver on the first day, which hit the target. And then we looked at cable, which stopped out for a small profit yesterday, which we'll be going through a little bit on the recap. And then after that, we took a silver for a small loss. So those are the 3 trades we've taken so far, all on the stretch principle, so that you guys get to understand how we as professionals are looking at the markets in real time and applying these strong principles, which keep recurring using the smart money indicator plus the volume spread analysis light indicator as well. There's a lot of action actually happening today. You can see on cable already. We'll be monitoring that. We'll be letting that settle a bit before we take any positions. Before that, I'd just like to welcome Gavin Holmes, CEO of TradeGuider, onto the show as well. Hi, Gavin.
Yeah, hi everyone, and welcome to you all from the New Forest National Park, which has got some very weird weather going on. With 1 minute it's sunny, and then you walk outside, you think I've got my shorts on, it's raining. Bit like the markets. So one thing I can say for certain is after yesterday's debate in the US, and I was talking to Tiru at length earlier, and we talked about a number of things, but the most important thing that I think that we've hit on here is when SMI and VSA converge into a price chart, everything you hear on the media is and it really is influential to you, is probably going to wrong foot you. And we're going to show that. Now, we talked about gold, with silver. I've had quite a few people emailing me about silver. We'll come to it, right? But we know that tomorrow the ECB are going to speak. We know that if you go to, and we did talk about this earlier. So someone said to me, we've had 2 emails. What time does your live trading session start, right? And Tiru, I'm sure, will cover this. Because, of course, when we send an email out, it's amazing because we literally, and I looked at this, certainly TradeGuider, anyway, I can speak for, we sell in over 38 countries. So if you send an email out and you've said it starts at this particular time, what happens is people are, oh, that's fine. But we're going to show you exactly today how you can get through that, so you know exactly what time we're broadcasting. Tiru, back over to you. But the GBP USD, wow, what a chart.
Yes, so I guess, you can see some really great big movement here on the cable chart. Let me just revert to the MT4. We will start off the MT4 today, right? Because my stretch indicators are on there. And then we will look at TradingView, where the VSA light overlay can be done as well, right? So we've learned quite a bit. So just do a very quick recap. Just keep an eye on the cable. Now, why is this happening? Of course, some of you will be asking. Over time, me and Gavin have been trading this for many years. We've stopped asking the question why, because why usually happens later, isn't it? You want to catch it before it happens, right? But for those of you inquisitive on it, you can take a look at this. This is the CPI news that has come out, so that's affected the currencies quite a bit over here. In fact, I was listening in to Tom Bezos' interview yesterday as well, and he was also mentioning that he doesn't care about the news, doesn't look about it, hasn't factored that in, and his systems are not based on that, because you have to beat the volume before it comes in, isn't it? Before the news, right? So you read in between the lines before the news takes over. And the great thing is we are going to be interviewing Tom Baso today, ourselves, right? So that is actually on our channel over here. Glenn will kindly put it on there. YouTube.com/master the markets is where you need to go to. And Glenn, if you can share the link, that'd be great. Please do catch this. It's going to be an exclusive interview. It's going to be at 6:30 p.m. UK time, right? So you just got to Google it and find out what is it in US time. I can definitely tell in Arizona that's going to be 10:30 a.m. because that's where Tom is from. So he's tuning in right early in the morning to come for the show. I think some of you other people in the US might be 12:30 if I'm not wrong, but double check it on Google, all right? Or even if you go on YouTube, when Glenn shares the link, then you can see what time it will automatically revert to your time zone, and then click on the notification icon and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Another thing also me and Gavin were talking about is that if you want to get notifications every time we go live, right, on YouTube, just like what we're doing over here, or on any interviews that we do or whatever it is, click on the all icon, okay, the bell icon here after you've subscribed, then it will come on your phone, okay? But by default, it just clicks on personalized. So just click on all, then you will get all of it. The same thing on Trade Guider as well, right? So if you click on subscribe, then click on all as well, okay? Trade Guider, youtube.com/Trade Guider. Ours is youtube.com/Master the Markets. Okay, that's enough on that one said. Let's go swiftly into the markets right now. Now, so yesterday's recap very quickly, because we want to look at some potential setups happening. The same thing is happening again, which is what we call the opposite stretch. After it has failed to take out the upper stretch and form the BRO to the upside here, what's happening. So we might be taking a look at taking this position today. So let me do it very quickly in terms of the recap to capture this trade as it's happening, and then we will check it on the VSA Lite as well. So I'm going to go on to the 15-minute to see in 5 minutes the 15-minute will close. So we'll see that, and then I'm also going to check on TradingView the VSA Lite confirmation as well, right? Over here, you can see that that is gray at the moment, so that's still fine. After this, highly probably this will turn red, combined with our confirmation coming in, so that will be a good one to take with volume spike coming in. The good thing is, look at this. I mean, Gavin will probably reaffirm this as well. Look at that, right? So the volume did spike against the relative volume moving average, and that was the green bar there. But like what Gavin always says, you don't take it on that one, and that's where everybody makes the mistake. That's what I used to think of volume until I met Gavin as well. But you look for the next bar. Look at that, right? So that's a nice fake over there, with volume coming in, people thinking, oh yeah, that's on the buying side before the news comes in, and look what happens, right? Reverts to the opposite side. Gavin, am I right on that small point on the volume there?
You're spot on, but put a 3-minute chart up. I'll show you where I'm at.
Let me do that very quickly. Oh yeah, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so what do we see? Well, very briefly, I'm not going to, because I want you to continue, but the SMI indicator pretty much confirmed downward pressure. There is news coming out. So, yeah, I do accept that many people say, well, you know, and I'm sure when you interview Tom later, you'll say, well, news. So what does that infer? It infers a opinion of the market. Now, we can see, and you and I talked about this yesterday. That
you know what? An interesting fact that he said yesterday, actually, Gavin, which is really alignment with what you're going to say. You know what he said? When you read news, you got to separate data from opinion, right? The opinion, disregard it. Data is what you're really after. Over to you.
I will. Well, that's a, you set me up a little bit here, but let's do it. That if you listen to the great orators of our time, people who talk and tell us information, there was and I've got the book here as well, and it's by David Weiss, but there's a great statement. Okay, but I'll read it, and then you can all tell me where it comes from, because I think that makes it more interesting. So if you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read the newspaper, you're misinformed. Can anyone tell me who said that? And this will be interesting because it's a really good statement.
I think I've heard that before.
I know you don't say it. Let's see how many get it. If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read the newspaper, you're misinformed. Who said it? Now you can repeat that questions, but I pretty much know what everyone's going to say here. Sorry, I'm getting some text in here.
Right. So let me just
No, I want to see if anyone in this audience, which would be very good for today's what we're seeing in the pound here. There is news coming out right now from Keir Starmer. Now, you may say, and people do say, well, I don't listen to the news. You've got to be aware. You've got to be aware. It's very important. Now, Terry, can you go to the 1 minute chart quickly?
Yeah, I'm just about to place this trade.
Yeah. I'm already in it, but can you just go to the, and I'll show my screen in a second. I'm going to leave your screen on, but 1 minute.
Right, let me do that. On the 1 minute chart here. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Do you see any hidden selling up at the top there?
Yeah, over there, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, please observe the spread of the bar, because we talked about this yesterday, and we got so many questions coming in, and they're great questions. Why do you think a narrow spread, Gavin, is important? And the greatest question, I suppose, is, well, Thierry looks at the open. You don't seem to look at the open. That's not correct, and I want to clear that up right now. The open, depending on your analysis strategy, is important, and please don't take it when I say, oh, well, actually, it's not important. It depends on your strategy. But look at that narrow spread. Okay, now that is at an old top. And if you look at why we've partnered with Tiru and the team at Master of the Markets, come looking to the left. Don't look at the right. Look at the left. Look at where the indications of failing supply, where the market was falling. Now, you can see what's going on. Okay, now, if you look at that indicator combined with SMI, what's it telling us? Supply has overcome demand. Now, Tiru, just very quickly before I hand back to you, put the gold 5 minute chart up, if you wouldn't mind using.
Yeah, the gold. Let me just
5
do
minutes.
that.
5 minutes. Yeah, because we're doing this in real time, so it's important that you all see this.
Let me get that one there. I think it's on the other one. Let me just put this one here. There we go. Should be on this one here. Right, this one here, gold. There we go.
Okay, you got daily up. Put the 3 minute up.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll show you exactly what I can see. And if not, I've got it because I'm in the trade. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, now go back maybe 50 bars, which is what Tom taught me. Right? Because we talked about this, and I've talked about where gold was going to go. It's going to actually correct. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, you've got no demand in the background. You've got SMI confirming it. So what are we actually looking for as traders and investors? So I've got a list of questions, which I'm not going to answer, well, not publicly, but there's a list. It's quite a long list. What time frames, of course, is the top one, which is the best time frame. But what we can see here is something that's the second question: what is supply and demand? Now, I think that's an obvious answer. You can go and Google it into Wikipedia and say, what is supply and demand? And you can go back in time to the times of, I mentioned this the other day in my mentorship course where I'm teaching people about supply and demand. I said, well, what is supply and demand? Well, it's actually quite straightforward. The market is supplied by big money that mark the price up because they brought lower. And demand comes in when they buy it back because they say, I tell you what, that's really good value. I think this instrument is good value. Now, Tiro, I'm going to, and we've not talked about this, but I'm going to put a challenge out there. Put up a weekly chart or a monthly chart, if you can, on there of British Petroleum, BP. Because I've had so many emails about this, and I'm going to just, I mean, we can show you. They said, did SMI pick that up? Well, go and put, now, Tiro and I have not discussed this, so I'm putting him.
I mean, do you want to share on yours? I think because
I can absolutely do that, but yeah, I'll take the screen. And we'll show exactly. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. So what we'll do, I can see a lot of people coming in on YouTube. Now that must be something that Glenn's done, because loads of people coming in. So if you just joined, and some of you have just joined, it's Tiru Nagapan from Master Markets and Gavin Holmes. We're going to talk very quickly about volume, and then I'm going to hand back to Tiru, who's going to take us through the live market. But this is really important because the question has been asked, and therefore it's important to answer it. So I'm going to take the screen, and you can tell me when you can see the screen.
I think it should work, yeah.
Yeah, no, it will. Just bear with me.
Yeah, we can see now.
Yeah, so we'll go to the volumespreadanalysis.com website first, but then what we'll do is we'll go to the chart. Now, can everyone see this? Because this should be showing.
Yeah, can see that, yeah.
Okay, so it's a volume spread analysis. Now, when we look at the SMI indicator, the smart money indicator, so someone actually texted me in TradingView and said, what is SMI? And Tiru and I discussed it. I said, well, surely we've made that obvious. Maybe not. So I'm going to tell you a story. Hopefully you'll figure this one out for yourselves, but SMI is a very straightforward word. It's smart money indicator. Now, my book is called Trading in the Shadow of the Smart Money. Is there a connection? Of course. Now watch. This is very, very important what I'm about to show you. Now, we know that volume is very important. And volumespreadanalysis.com shows it. Having said that, it's controversial. Why? Well, read my book. Because ultimately what happens is if you want to make money in the markets and you want to be a professional trader, you have to realize why volume is important. Now we've got green indicators. This is a very old version, by the way. It's EOD V4, but the price action tells us that smart money were buying, and it kept going. But now you're going to say to me, okay, well, that was in the past. Well done, Gavin. You're and Tiru, you're both looking in the past, but we're not. I'll show you why. I've done NVIDIA, so I'm not going to go back on that, because that's already showing where the fallout was, and the buyers are starting to show themselves. But let's go back, and I'll put up the chart of BP. And what we'll do,
Gavin, just a quick thing as you're doing that. I spotted a trade on DAX, so we are up long on it at the moment. So we will analyze it later on after you've done the BP.
yeah, this will be quick. Don't worry. So daily chart BP. Now, this is very interesting. If you look at it, okay, look at the top, look at the volume prior to the earnings. Who knew what about BP there? That's a daily chart. And look at where we're currently at. Now, surely oil is a commodity, but look, we now go to the monthly. And then I'm going to hand over to Tiru. And where the buyers stepped in back here was when the news was terrible. It was awful. Look at the volume. Tell me that is not important, and I'm fine with it. You go, oh well, it's irrelevant. Look at the rally. Now you're going to say, where's it going? I can tell you exactly where it's going. My point and figure and Cargill chart shows $28 within the next 3 weeks. Okay, downward pressure. Now that's a monthly chart. Now put up a smaller time frame, the hourly, and you've got an upthrust. You've got a gap down. You've got an SMI indicator. It's gone from 30, well, up here at 35 down here. It's going to go, well, it will do. Now I'm going to publish this on the channel. We're going to publish what's going to happen as it unfolds in a smaller time frame. So how you do that? Very simple. That's where I'm at on my personal TradingView channel, where we're going to show all of this. So it's Gavin H 10277. You want the information? Fine, I'll give it to you. But Tiru, interestingly enough, the British pound, the GBP right now is moving, and you talked about this yesterday. It's got quite a lot of information going on, and it's doing exactly what we thought. I mean, you've got the SMI indicator, you've got no demand. Can you explain why? And this is a question that several people said. Why does the SMI indicator, which we can see here, which is clearly showing price action, followed by our no demand indicator, why do the two things work so well together? And why is price falling like it's doing right now, which we talked about? Over to you.
Great. You know what? Let's actually look at it in real time because we're here on live trading. So I'm just going to show you guys this, right? So I'm going to share my screen now.
Yep. Screen.
So let's go for this, replace current share and share again. Things are happening quite quick today because of all the news and everything. You can see a little bit of lift back from there on the cable. But what's going on here, right? So let's understand this because everything that we do is very, very logical, is it not, traders, right? And then we'll put everything together. So the first thing first is, let's do a recap from yesterday. And it's interesting how whatever we are doing over here is what even professional seasoned traders, even like Tom Baso, even reiterates, which is what we're going to be looking at in the interview later today at 6:30 p.m. Now, you see, yesterday on the cable, right, if you guys remember, so the entry was on here as it broke that low. Stop loss was for here on the stretch level, potential stretch. And then we took an opposite stretch, right, towards the range, yeah? And the range was at 130.45. But remember yesterday, look what happened, right? It didn't hit that range number. But of course, we got trailing stop loss mechanisms, which is what we're going to be going through today. So today we're going to go through a lot on where to place your stop based on your MAE numbers, right? And also then how to trail your stop loss as well. That's the main topic for today, okay? Day 1 and day 2, what we went through was concept and objective on day 1, right? And then we looked a little bit on OE on day 2. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go and watch it. I know we might have sent the wrong link yesterday. Thanks for those who pointed out that. But I think Glenn have sent out the right link now. So watch those videos. It's on our YouTube channel as well, as I mentioned. So that's what happened yesterday. But you see, traders, here's the important point, right? So even when it didn't hit your target, even when it didn't hit your target over here, but you know now, right? Based on what we have taught you so far, based on range and all of that, look why it didn't, because yesterday it didn't form its range, right? If you take a look on the range of that bar, if you look over here, this was also designed by one of our traders who joined us as well. Actually, we got a lot of great traders who have joined us, me and Gavin, you know, who actually uplifts the community by itself. And that's why we have established the Elite Traders Mastermind, which is going to happen in Tenerife this year as well, which we'll talk about more later on. A lot of you have expressed interest on that. Now, in terms of this, you see the bar range over here. Let me just draw a line over there so that you guys can see. Yesterday's bar range, you see, was about 58, right? And yesterday, the day before, remember the ATR was 78. That's how we got the range capture based for this strategy. What I'm teaching you, just one strategy only. You can add on so many other different strategies when you want, which is 0.8 times 78. That's about 63, isn't it? Is what we got yesterday, right? 63, yeah, but 62. So that's where you see, but then it didn't form its range yesterday, right? But it formed very near to that. That's where our green line was, and it didn't hit that. And then this is what we had, okay? This is what we got on the cable, but we had a small profit there because we had trailed our stop loss to the high of that, and then we made the gap between our point of entry to the trailing stop loss, okay? However, on silver, on the other hand, yesterday, if you take a look on yesterday, what happened was that we didn't go towards our range yesterday. So over here, look, so this is what happened yesterday. So we had the entry on the breakout there. So you did that, and then the stop loss for here. Next bar itself took it out. It's a bit of a chop, but it didn't even make its even range for the day as well. So here's the thing, very important thing, right? That whatever happens, even when you make a win, when you make a loss, you must know why it's doing that, right? The logical part, understanding your strategy and your system, when it wins, when it loses, when to write the profits is all very important. This is what we're teaching you step by step in real time. And as Gavin said, not in hindsight, okay? Now, going on to today, right? So for those who just looked at the news and had jumped on after the news had come out, you can see it's a little bit of a pullback happening. Some people might be scared about that, isn't it? But when you really understand what's going on, you won't be fearful. Now, here's a few ways you can tackle this, right? So let me go through this. Now, you see, the first thing is you must understand. So let's put it all into perspective. In terms of a range capture, right? So if you were analyzing this much more earlier in the day, the first thing is before the news came out, you would have observed that, right? That this bar, of course, you wouldn't have seen, but before that, you would have seen that it took out the upper stretch line, right? If it took out the upper stretch line, there's a higher chance, right, that the BRO is going to form, the bigger range from the open is going to form to the upside, isn't it? But if you were careful and you saw that there's news coming out later on, you would be a bit wary, not to take the initial breakout, but wait for a retracement and then wait for proper buying. But then that proper buying signal never came, as confirmed by volume and by the VSA signals. Okay, so that's how you could have protected yourself. But let's say some of you were conservative and thought, okay, let me trade this after the news comes out. Let's analyze this now, right? So as of now, if I go on to the daily time frame, let's say now we want to trade this. Okay, now we take a look over here. We do the same thing, right? In terms of this strategy for range capture, okay? The objective is for range capture. We take a look at yesterday's bar, and then let's take a look now. Yesterday's bar, the ATR was what? ATR was 75. So I do 80% of that, right? Just like what we have done all the time. So that's about 60. Right now, how much has it formed already? I can see over here, it's 64 that it has done, right? From high to low, it's done about 64. So it's gone through our 80% ATR range, okay? So in terms of this strategy, we can't trade that if you want to take it after the news because it's done its range, okay? That's point number one. That doesn't mean you still cannot trade this. If you got another strategy, strategy number two, let's say strategy number two is based on open equity distance, which is what we spoke about yesterday. So those of you who do not understand that, go and take a look. Now, what do I mean by open equity distance? So what you've seen over here, let me just draw this out for you over here right now. So what you got here, right? This did a little bit of an upward push, but you can see there's a lot of weakness. Volume would probably highly confirm that as well. So it's not real buying happening. And then we had this big seller bar come in, take out that level and turn this into a downtrend, right? Now, this is the point. So this bar here is the one that confirmed the top according to our SMI, right? All the SMI does is it's got a quantified formula of confirming when a top happens and when a bottom happens. Very pivotal for swing traders, very important. That's the main thing it does. After that, then you got all the different stats that you can get out of it. One is the trend and the phase. You can get the three stats, one of it being OE. Today we're going to talk about MAE. And then tomorrow we'll talk about the third stats, right? So all these things, and also you can tell you the trend and the phase, and also the three stats. From there, then you can then formulate that into your strategy construction. So these are all the things that the SMI does. Now, then we combine that with volume. So one other strategy that we can do here, as you can observe, so it's done that, and then it's confirmed its top over here on this bar here. We can now start to take a look on a point of entry on this bar here, right? On the close, we always take on the close. And then this is where we use the open equity data. Okay, so I'll go on to the trading view chart over here. On the open equity data on the 1 hour time frame, right? So let me do that. Let me move that to there. And you can see that it's playing hide and seek with me. Let me just put that there. Good. You can see that after the close has happened, right? If you believe that today's bar range, okay, is going to be much more bigger because all the news is still 1:30 and towards 3 p.m. still there'll be volume left, you know, there will be traders left, you can go for the 1 ATR range, which is another target. Now, the other thing that you can also do using the OE stats, which I'm showing you over here, from the close, what it's telling you is, if you want a very quick scalping trade, you can take 5 pips from here, from the close, right? Another thing that you can also do, but because this is phase 1, we can go for the 50% number, which is 20 pips, okay? Usually on a phase 1, that will be about 60-70% probability of reaching that. So one simple thing that I can do from the close, right? I can put my target for 20 pips, right? Which is about here, right? Which is about here. Over there, let me just get that number, 13040, right? And then we can then play it accordingly in terms of our trailing stop loss mechanisms, okay? And the stop loss being for the high of the bar because of the massive bar. Another thing that I can also do before I come to that, where to place the stop loss strategically, But before that, I just want to make sure, let me just show you on here. So let me just do that over here. So from the close, right, from the close, I'll just do this. So from the close, 130.60 minus 20 pips, 130.40. So this is another strategy that you can do based on open equity data, which our smart money indicator gives you anyway, which then also is then confirmed with the VSA light with a gray dot, which is a good sign that the selling is going to continue with confirmation. If I go on to the 15-minute, you would have already seen the selling, the red dot has already happened on the VSA. The top got confirmed much more earlier, even before the news. But remember, this is not a buy and sell indicator. You have to use it in combination with the parameters what we're teaching you here. Now, some of you are asking, okay, Thiru, I'm not very sure about this OE and all that. Where can I find out more about it? The best place to find out more is the 7 steps to CTP, right? So you can go there. So if you just type in 7 steps to CTP, if Glenn can put it on the YouTube channel plus the Zoom, that'd be great. Another place where you can get hold of both the indicators is also our page on SMI and VSA methodology over here. Okay, some of you are asking how can I get hold of both the indicators, so you can definitely go onto there and get hold of it, or email us as well. So coming back onto here again, so that is one way that we can take a look at, which is the 20 pip, which is 50-60% probability of getting there based on swing distances. Okay, based on swing distances is what we are taking a look on there. Now, some of you might be thinking, hang on a minute, it's going short, but then these bars are all going on the top. Remember, this is what nicely, Stuart had said before as well. This is the dance, right, that the price action does. This is what shouldn't worry you if you know your volatility numbers. Now, based on volatility numbers, Tom Basso was talking about this yesterday, and I'll interview him today and ask him more further on this as well. Now, you must understand, Tom Basso is a trading legend, right? He's been trading for over 50, 60 years, okay? So it's really good to see that whatever that we're teaching you here, it's online with the real big professionals out there as well, okay? This is what me and Gavin are teaching you. Now, coming back to today then, so on terms of volatility basis, right? Before I come to the volatility basis on where to place the stops, just one quick thing what I also did want to pass on to you yesterday, which I didn't get much of the time, is that, when you take a look at different time frames, okay, and you can cross transfer this to any time frame or instrument, with the market structure, what we got with the smart money indicator, you can actually align all the time frames trend together. And this is where it becomes very powerful. Okay. Again, as I said, this was one of our clients who did this, very inspiring. Just came like you guys onto one of these webinars or met us one of the exhibitions, very inspired, came and coded the entire indicator onto the TradingView. So the first thing what we usually do we align all the time frame trends together. You can see on the daily time frame, right? So it's a downtrend phase 1 at the moment, yeah, by the trend box, which was also coded by another client which came on to us, got inspired by this as well. Then on the 4-hour, let's take a look on the 4-hour. It's also a downtrend phase 1 as well, right? Which you can see over here. So downtrend phase 1. Right? And then also on the 1-hour, right? We also are seeing a downtrend phase 1 as well, right? Okay. And then on the 15-minute, as you've seen before as well, it's also showing a downtrend phase 1. So this is the best part about this, and and the Trade Guider team also have programmed all of this on Smart Center Pro as well, which will show you all the trend aligning. Now, when you got the trend aligning, and this doesn't happen very often, of course, high probability setups don't happen that very often. That's why you got to be patient. If you're not very patient, if you want to get Still a lot of frequency of setups. Increase the number of instruments. This is the only two ways you can increase frequency. Either by increasing a number of strategies on one instrument, or for one strategy, increase the number of instruments. So you can see all the time frames, the trend is being aligned. But we're only able to see this in a quantified manner because of the quantification that we have done with the smart money indicator and also the VSA light indicator, what we got over here. Okay, so that's how we can say with robust. We got a framework. That's the framework we're working on. It's not a holy grail, but it's a framework, right? Which gives us some really logical, systematic way of analyzing the market and being confident in the trades that we are taking. So that's the first thing I wanted to tell you. This is what I couldn't cover yesterday. So all the trend across all the time frames are correlating with our market structure, which we have got with the smart money indicator. Okay, this is why me and Gavin also got invited to the STA, Society of Technical Analysis, to come and talk on this as well. And then also I've been recently invited to come and do their training program for all their traders over there as well on the automation side of the training program, which is Part 3 diploma course I'll be teaching over there as well. So you can see it's really, really high quality stuff what we're giving you here. So good. So that is on the market structure on alignment of all time frames, right? So that's happening today. So this is really good. When that happens, what you can also do then, you can actually stretch your target rather than 80% to maybe to 1 ATR target, okay? Which is more or less what I'm doing for today, which is stretching it to the 20 pip, which is aligning with this, also will align with the 1 ATR target as well. Now, finally, I want to go through today's main thing and then pass over to Gavin to take a look at a few more instruments as well. I want to be taking a look at what the volatility, okay, a bit more closely. You see, I want to talk to you more about where to place your stop losses. This is a big thing, right? Because you are in a trade, you know, you want to get to your target, but then it stops you out and then it gets to your target. Very annoying, isn't it? How do we remove that? Not 100% of the time, but at least we know what we're doing. And even when we lose, we know why we lost. Even when we win, we know why we are winning. This is very important. This is what will give you the confidence and the conviction to keep going on forward. So let's take a look at this. Now, what we have also programmed with the market structure here, very powerful stuff what we got here, which can be used then along with volume. We have what we call the MAE number, right? Some of you might know this what it means, but I'll explain that in a minute, right? So let me just bring the stats out as well. Remember, you can do this either in raw format, I'm using pips because currencies, or in the ATR format as well, or percentage, okay? So you can do that, change it to less than equal to. As I said, most of this is taught, explained very well under the video series on 7 steps to achieve consistent trading performance. Okay, 7 steps to CTP. Highly recommend that. 15 years of full-time research that has come to that point. So here, on this point over here, what we got the MAE table over here. What it's telling you is analyzed over 1,322 dots, right? Bottoms and tops. It's analyzing the MAE number. What is the MAE number? The MAE number is what we're seeing in real time here. So you see, point of entry is usually on the close, okay, of the confirmation bar, the bar of the dot. The dot and the arrow happens at the same time. Now, from the blue line, what it's measuring is how much does it go against you. So at the moment it's going against you, right? How much does it go against you before it goes to its maximum point, before it does a opposite dot, okay, or opposite bottom, before it does a bottom? Because remember, the market can only go in two alternative ways, right? After it's done a top, it's got to do a bottom, isn't it? That's what the framework is telling you here. So what you can see in the previous ones here, if you take a look, then maybe that will maybe make you understand a bit more. If I do in replay, this will make you understand this a little bit more. So you can see that, let me just play one more bar here so you can see the dot. So the dot came here, this is where the confirmation was. Let's say you took a buy signal, uptrend phase 1 on this. Now let's see how much it went against us before it went to the maximum point. So you see, anything that goes against the blue line, right, all the way to that low, right, is how much it went against you, right, before it goes to the top and it does its opposite confirmation bar, right? So let's see when it does its opposite confirmation bar. Right. So now then it did that, right? The opposite confirmation bar came over here. Then its maximum point was over here. How much did it go against us before reaching the maximum point? That's 4 pips, right? So the same thing here, 7, 2, 1. So it's measuring every single swing. How much does it go against you before going to the maximum point? And then it's collecting all of those numbers into this table. So in summary, what it's doing is, if you want to place your stop where you won't get stopped out 98% of the time, we take a look at here and we can see that that would be 40 pips, okay? So you would place your stop, right? You will place your stop, right? If you place your stop 40 pips away, right, which is about 13100 over here, this is just on a 1 hour time frame, right? So if you did that, let me just see that. If you did that, and there you go. So when you place your stop over there, all the downs can happen in here, but you're given enough room, but you know on a statistical basis, 98% of the time you won't get stopped out. 98% is the number you want to use, because that's what we found in research. If you want to use other numbers, you can run your numbers there as well. Okay. That's the thing. Now, some of you immediately might say, now this is where you need to learn, right? Now, some of you immediately say, oh no, Thiru, come on, look at that. The stop is so far away. That's 40 pips. And if my target is only 20, that is a 0.5 to 1. The first thing immediately I want to tell you guys is that this is called expected reward to risk ratio. Okay, this doesn't put any money into your bank account, right? Doesn't give any realized profits. What you're concerned about is your actual reward to risk. What really happens? You see, think about this, right? Eventually, after all of this dance or panic that it does to the trader, eventually, let's say it comes down, hits your target. You would never see any of that volatility or unrealized loss on your account statement, would you not? You wouldn't you, traders? So all that, remember, right? As Stuart nicely said, it's just a dance. Okay, you have to let go of the dance. Don't think about it. Once you know your numbers in your stats of where it should be placed. And look at this, right? Even on the VSA line, this aligns properly on the trigger lines where we are placing it for the opposite side where our number comes in there as well. So both the methodologies complement each other very beautifully. Okay, so that's that one there. So on how you would place your stops to cover for the volatility. And the trailing stop loss can be done in many ways. I don't have really much time for that. Maybe hopefully we can cover a little bit of that tomorrow. Okay, so there's a few other things that we can do. So that's on the MAE. So those are the numbers. Now you can also do that on some instruments which are expanding quite fast. You can do that on ATR levels as well. Okay, so if I did 0.1 and if I did 0.1 ATR, I can do that very quickly. This is amazing because just in a flick of a second, I can get this on any instrument on any time frame as well. So again, I go for the 96%. So that's about 2 ATR is what it's saying over here on the 1 hour time frame. So I guess that's that one there. We'll keep an eye on that, and then we'll also see how the DAX is also performing over here. I did see a potential trade over here as well. Okay, I'll just go through a quick recap on that, and then Gavin can take over. See on the DAX, the same thing, right? So our entry was here on the blue line as Gavin was explaining the others in terms of range capture, okay? Because I saw that cable already had done its range, right? So let go of it, look for other instruments, thousands of instruments on the market. That's one of the biggest beauty of it, right? Look at something else which is about to move. So this is what I saw. I saw a little bit of consolidation here, applying all the same things that you have learned now. Upper stretch line got taken out, retracement still hovering around there. When to put an entry for the breakout of that consolidation point, which is in alignment with upper stretch being taken out, BRO forming to the upside, stretch being placed here, right? So stretch will be here, BRO to the upside, right, forming towards the range. So then I repeat the same thing again, right, which is, let me just show you here, and then I can end off with this. So over here, I can see the ATR number is 233, right? Again, 80% of that, which is what I'm going for to allow for spikes and noise. 186 is what I've got. 186 right from the bottom here. And there we go, right? So that's what I've got here, the number here, 18571. So let me just double check that. So the low of the day, 18271, right? So 182, I might have 18271 plus the 186. So I might have done the calculation a bit wrong. 18457 is what we are after. Okay, so 1845. Let me just do that again. Let me just adjust that, and then I just double check that with the, so it's very near to there today. So let me just quickly just check that. The range 177. So it's 0.8. Let me just do that. So 0.8 times 233, that's 186, right? So 186 plus the low of today, which is 18271, right? That will give us 18457, right? Which is a little bit, just about 10 points away from hitting our target over there. Now, if I were to confirm that with the VSA, it will beautifully complement. As you can see, the most powerful setups are when the SMI and the VSA confirms, which a lot of clients from both our companies have said that. Okay, so you can see over here on the DAX over here, I will go quickly drop it onto the 1 hour time frame over here, right? I'll do that, right? So 1 hour time frame, you can see with all the indicators being put over there, you can see beautifully that just as we analyzed it, right? As it took out that high over there, the green dot happened, confirmation, more confidence to keep on with the trade towards our target of the ATR range. And the volume spikes at the bottom also confirm it. With more in-depth price and volume analysis, you can actually enter onto this much more earlier with confidence, actually, by how Gavin looks at in terms of 3 minutes and 1 minute time frame. When you align all of this, is incredible. These are the kind of stuff that we're going to be talking about in the Tenerife event. Okay, some of you might have already got the email yesterday. Based on your membership levels as well, there's different discount codes that when you have joined the SMI and VSA club as well. Gavin, I'm done from my side. So over to you to look at a few more other instruments if you want.
Yeah, no, brilliant analysis. I would just say a couple of things. Have a look at that chart of the DAX. Now look at the volume on the down bar. Now you could see there's a massive spike down. Now I'm using Smart Center Pro on the other computer, but the next bar closes up. Now you've got two blue indicators there. And I don't trade the DAX, so I'm going to be completely frank about that. It's not something I trade, but it's very clear as to what's going on there. Now, if you listen to what's going on the news right now, and obviously there's plenty of stuff going on, that's a markdown. But let me share the screen here. I'll show you something that's quite...
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll share the screen. And the reason I'll do it is I could stay on Turi's screen, but actually, when you see this, okay, just tell me if you can see the
nice.
Yes, yeah, 3 minute chart here.
Yes, yes, yeah, that's great.
Right. Okay, so we've got this massive volume bar. Now, the first question I asked you, do you accept that's high volume? Again, it's a really big question because some people say, "Oh no," but it's massive volume. right? But let's go to the right edge of the chart. Because what we're going to do is take this area right now. Okay, I want to make sure you can all see this. It's a live 3-minute futures chart. And I'm going to analyze every bar for you. Yeah, I've only got 5 minutes. But I'm going to show you. Now, this area here, where I've put the high volume and a closing price, I've projected that out. Watch. It's going to fall. There's too much supply there. Oh, great question. It's going to 3060 in the next 25 minutes.
Great. Gavin, as you're waiting for that, there's a question come in, and it's from Gerard. Let me see. I think he posted it on the chat box. If you're a day trader, how far do you usually go to check for strength or weakness in charts? Last day, 2 days, question mark.
Great question. You look at, well, this is about to hit what I'm saying, but the reason is it's the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, but the one that's the key for me here, 5-minute and 3-minute. See if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I accept it, but I won't be wrong.
There's a high probability that's going to confirm on the SMI. Let's see.
SMI confirms, VSA confirms.
Yeah, that's good. We can see it live.
Now I know the next level, and someone will say, "You can't know that." You do. And I'm using a Cargill chart on the left-hand side here. On the thing, there we go. We nearly hit.
There we go. SMI confirmed it as well. You see.
Correct. Yeah, I've got it on the other screen. Now that doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. That's what people say. They go, "Oh, well, you seem to have got it right."
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want the next level? Everyone's going, well, what's the next level? 3045. Watch. And we're doing this like just to be clear, because we're on YouTube and people are emailing me. Yeah, how are you calculating that? I'm using Wyckoff. I'm using Cargill charts that Tom taught me. I'm using SMI, which you've talked about. I'm using this price bar here, where look at where it closed in the middle, and it failed to respond. If you understand this, you can understand the market. But then you've got the SMI saying, well, that's going to fall. Well, because it will. Watch. 2 minutes left. And you may say, well, okay, how have you calculated this? It's really straightforward. It's not, True and I talk about mathematics and how, I mean, he comes from a medical background, right? I come from a law enforcement background, but it doesn't matter what background you come from. That is key right now. Watch. And again, it's so important. If you're going to be part of our team or part of what we do, especially in Tenerife, you'll learn this and you'll say, that makes complete sense. Because when I was a policeman, I'd learned how to understand not people, because that was an important part of it, but to understand the universe. It's really important. Watch. What this is about to collapse. Now it's live. Yeah, I know some of you say, well, that's not, you're recording it. I mean, it's live. It's on YouTube.
It's interesting how both the analyses always correlate, isn't it, Gavin? Because one of our targets is actually from the close. If they want to take on the OE perspective, it's 20 pips from that, 130.40, which is kind of very correlating, very near to where you are saying as well.
I think that the most important point you just made was what you just said. Exactly right. The correlation. How do you make it in the market? You watch. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Tiru's word for it. Watch. Either we're geniuses, which we're not. Well, Tiru's pretty close. In fact, his son is probably the guy that actually
It's going to take over us both.
And I did get asked the question, did you go to the christening of? Yeah, I said I actually did. I did. It was the most wonderful moment of my life. And you know, I was there at your christening in Batty, but we're watching this chart and people go, hold on a second, I've got text coming in. Are you saying this is going to go to? I'm not saying anything. Watch. Watch. This is in control of this. I don't know what else to do. And if you detect in my voice a little bit of frustration, it's because I want to help you. And there is definitely, I told Tiru this, I said, I've written a book on Think, Link, Create. And I know I've got this, as Tiru has, we've got this mission to help people, but it doesn't always work. And that's the wonderful thing about the book. Just watch that this will work. And it will work because A, I can read the chart, which Tiru and we're pretty good at that. But B, we understand how your brain ticks when you're watching it. Watch. And Tiru, if you're okay with this, can we leave this for 5 more minutes?
Yeah, let's do that. I think as we are waiting towards that, shall I brief them on the? I know there's a lot of questions on the Tenerife event, isn't it? Shall I just do a quick recap on that?
Please wait. This is about to go.
Okay, no problems. Yeah. Let's just
Yeah, I mean, we're watching this chart, and I know we're going to talk about this is going to hit its target, and it's going to happen live, and then people realize they go, "Oh, you've got that." Watch.
You know the just for everybody watching on that one, the first level to hit is 130.46, which is the low of the previous swing low, which is very near to what Gavin is also saying. And then the other one, what we can look for is 130.40, which there's a 60% probability of getting there as well. So let's all watch this, guys. It is happening in real time.
The most important part is the volume, and I'm not going to do mathematicals. Well, it might do. It might do. I'm watching every bar, every price bar. It tells me a story. David Weiss, I will quote very shortly from his book, Trade's About to Happen. I'm watching this bar right now. Why? Look at the volume. It's closed in the middle. Now, Tiru and I talk a lot about the closing price and the opening price. And now watch. If this next bar closes lower than this price bar here, which we're doing live. I mean, again, we're on YouTube. We got a lot of views. Watch what I'm about to tell you. It's the most important lesson because SMI has confirmed the downward pressure on price, right? There's no argument with that. Now watch. And I'm going to shut up for a few minutes, and Tiru, don't say anything. It's really important. Let everyone focus on price action. It's such an important part of trading. Watch. And then I will come back in a minute or two and show you why I know this. And it's important because I know it's about to break. But you can go, oh, you can't know that. Watch, I will. Tom taught me. Tiru, please give it a couple of minutes. Don't speak. Watch.
Oh, you want the futures, right? Got you. Calm before the storm, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm back. So yeah, we're right here. Can you hear me all right, Tiru?
Yeah, I hear you totally fine.
Yeah, just watch. I've got, and again, I've let the recording go. I'm sure that Tiru has, because we're testing the market here. This is VSA 101 and SMI 101. I mean, it is right in front of you. Now, the reason I took a couple of minutes there to show you this is you can see we're on a 3-minute chart. And okay, I was up here and it's going down. But we have to understand where it's going to go, because that's what everyone wants to know. Watch what's about to happen. I'm not wrong. It's about to break. Now, you might ask, how do I know this? What's the volume at the bottom of the screen here? Watch. It's about to break.
Maybe zoom in a bit more on the volume, Gavin. Maybe you can't see.
No, you actually, the worst thing I can do is zoom in because it's about to break.
Right, right.
And if I zoom, well, I can do, but I am the volume is, I've got it on the other screen too on NinjaTrader, which we're going to do an event with them. And by the way, that we're looking forward to that. But watch what's about to happen. Right now, okay, we can zoom in a bit on the volume here. Okay, it's not, we're talking about 20 to 3 UK time, but we're in this area. It's a very important area. Okay, I'm going to come all the way back because it's about to go. How can that possibly
Actually, it's taken it out already. Yeah, and it's going towards the second target now on the spot. Yeah, on the futures. Yeah, it's done that as well.
Yeah, I know.
And there you go. People have seen it in real
Yeah,
time.
but now I'm going to show everyone something slightly different. Okay, because this is how we learn to make money in the market. Look at this bar here, and I'll put this up. I'll make this a little bit stronger. Look at the volume on the bar. This is going all the way down the toilet. But I know that. How can this be possible? SMI proves it. Okay, which it does. Right at the top here, I've got a 15-minute chart. You and I talked about this morning. And we said, well, look, you've got all these SMI indicators showing downward pressure. Is that an accident? Is that no, it's completely true. It has to happen. Now, when you do it live, which is why I think it's so important to do this, I've got the next level. Now, I don't want to switch this off right now because I'll tell you why. I think we're going to keep going. And you know, I know we're doing this for free and we're doing this because we really enjoy this. But I want everyone to look at several things, please, that cause this market to do what it's doing over the last 30 minutes. It doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. I've said this all along. Okay, you would look at the price going, you got that, you nailed it, and I've done it for years. There's one key ingredient that everyone misses. Belief. Tiru has it. His team have it. My team have it. Belief. We know. But how can you possibly know? It's the markets. No one knows. But Warren Buffett appears to know. Elon Musk appears to know. But they're human beings. They're nothing different. But watch. There's a few clues on this chart that, if you understand them, will show you why this is going to keep going. Look at the top. We've got one of our indicators here and an SMI indicator confirming. 15-minute chart. I knew that was there. Tiru knew that was there. Did you know that was there? Probably, because some of you have got the product. You go, oh, I can see there's downward pressure. Did they get a green signal? Great question. If you get a green indicator, do I buy? Not if you follow the rules, but no one follows rules. I don't know any trader that follows rules. I've tried. I've said, just do this, that, and no. I'm not saying, please let me be clear, that not everyone follows rules. They follow some of them, but I know from my own personal experience where I'm teaching and saying to traders and investors around the world, well, if you do this, you've got my trading plan, you've got my books, you've got that. I break the rules. How stupid is that? And the reason I say how stupid is that is because I realize I'm writing a book on, hey, if you do this, you're going to be successful. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. And sometimes you'll take a trade, like we're doing here, and you'll get it wrong. And you'll look at yourself afterwards and say, what the hell, what did I do? But you'll learn. And the greatest lesson I've ever learned in life is you're never wrong and you're never right. But the universe will test you all the time. It doesn't matter whether you call it God or Allah or whatever, it's a test. And it's very difficult sometimes. So if we look at this chart now, because that's what everyone, I don't want to hear about the universe or anything like that. Some people do. But what I've learned is when you are certain in your mind about your belief system, if you are certain about your outcome, even though it doesn't always happen, by the way, if you are certain in your mind, then what happens is you fail 5 times usually before you get to that moment. Now watch. This is really important, what I'm about to show you. This bar here is what Tom Williams taught me. Now, I want you to notice the volume. Now, I've had emails from TradingView, YouTube, various channels, and I know Tiru and I will talk a lot in Spain about this principle here. The market rushes down and takes out the previous support area, which was identified by SMI. And I gave you a target much earlier on, and it's still going to go down much further. But why? Why could I have said that? And why did SMI confirm it? Which is why we work with Tiru and the team. Because watch, downward pressure started up here. Okay, we've got certainly an increase in volume. Now, I can increase the volume. I'm not going to do it for the moment because we've got another session tomorrow. But we've got all this downward pressure on market. Then it collapses. We said that right at the beginning. There's going to be a correction. Now, I'm going to ask Tiru to come in because I'm going to put up a 3-minute chart. Okay, and we're going to look at the top here. And most importantly, why the market went up. But then right at the top, where the volume, and I'm not going to increase it because I knew that was there. But we've got this. Tiru, going back to you. you've got right at the top here, we've got no demand, potential selling. We've got your indicator showing a downward. I mean, I can't do this other than live, which you know. Why has the British pound fallen like we thought it would?
I think the simple thing is, I mean, Gavin, I think we've already explained that, right? We looked at price structure. We looked at combined with volume. The thing is over here, the common public will say, you know, oh yeah, it's because of the news, and then they will justify it. But remember, if you wait for the news, the move has already happened, isn't it, traders, right? But or even if you wait for the news, but then you strip out the opinion and you just look at the data, the price that we're looking at here, you could wait for a retracement before you take it further. You see, on this webinar, we've shown you both, haven't we? One is, what if you were to take a trade before the news? How would you analyze it with looking at range capture and volume? Or if you did miss that, how can you take it from a open equity perspective as well, right? Where we have put the trade target at 30.45, which is already going towards that, as we have seen, all combined with price and volume is what is Gavin is also showing you here. And the best part is, you know what? I mean, we saw it all live, right? Gavin was very confident because he's seen this so many years, isn't it? I mean, over 20, 25, 30 years, right? Between us is about 40, 45 years that we got cumulative experience. So that's why we talk with that amount of conviction, because you've seen this keep repeating again and again in the markets. And that's what we want to pass on to you guys. And we want you to carry that forward with the conviction, because not many people are really doing this out there, are they? To talk to this level of conviction and in real time as well. Very hardly any. I've not seen myself. And there you go. Like what Gavin has said, it's just reaffirming more to you. It is going even more further down, as you guys can see in real time, right? No hindsight. There you go, Gavin. I mean, it's all showing in real time now. Whatever you said.
Yeah, well, no, I just want to go back a little bit and talk about Tom Williams. Now, he was the master. He taught me what I'm showing you. And God rest his soul, I was with him when he passed, but he showed me stuff. And that stuff works. And, you know, I've done it time and time again in trading competitions and all sorts of stuff. It doesn't make you right or wrong. Even though we're doing this live and we've got a load of people on YouTube and a load of people on LinkedIn coming in, but mostly it's interesting. YouTube seems to be working. But when you make a comment about a live chart, and we're on a 3-minute chart of the pound, you made a comment earlier about, well, could be this, could be that, and you were right. And then I looked at the VSA and I said, do you know something? I can see a mark down here and you're watching it live. Now, I can't do anything more, and nor can Tiru, than show you this as it's happening. We could do PowerPoints, and I have done that in Detective Holmes, Follows the Smart Money, and I've shown what I know. But I know exactly where this is going. And I know some of you have already emailed me, said, well, I took the short earlier on. Well, of course you did, because you've got the software. That's fine. I'm not going to say you should or shouldn't do anything. But watch, and the reason I didn't want to stop the webinar, and that's true, because we're coming into the London fix, and this is going to move, because I can see who's talking. Now, many of you will go, oh, no, you should keep it to 1 hour. I'd agree with that. I just keep it to 1 hour. But then I've got other emails saying, keep going, because you're both talking sense. Watch. Now, I will end the webinar for me, but this is going to go down further real quick. Watch, and you're going to say, it's a live chart. How could you know that? Because we've got everything in the background. Okay, we've got the selling, we've got the ultra high volume bar, and that is going to act as resistance. So if you were to say, oh, I want to take a trade now, well, that's your resistance line. But watch. Tira, I don't want to spout on, but this is such a good chart. And
yeah.
I really, I've got a lot of emails coming in now, and Laura has too. She's on live chat. Massive. They go, how the hell did he get that? How did you get it? Because we both did. It's going to keep going. And I suppose when you've got something that we can see, it's going to keep going, by the way, and you can see it live. The last thing you want to do is switch it off, because people say, I'm watching it. I really am interested. What's your take on this? Because you've got it, you nailed it at the beginning. What's your take now? Where would you think, from a stretch perspective, this is going to go? Because I think I've got the number.
Let me just share my screen and then
take it back.
share, replace the current share. Share that. That's great. So I think we will also, I'm just thinking about time as well, Gavin, because I think we're over a little bit.
I'm just looking at the emails coming in. I wouldn't worry too much about time. People are enjoying this. So
that's good. The best thing is, listen, I mean, this was all done in real time. And we also, as this was happening, right? I don't know if you guys can remember, but you can watch in the recording as well, right? Now, this is the part, usually, Gavin, that people get scared, isn't it? When the buyer bars start to come back against them. But we nicely showed you, we nicely showed the guys, and it's all in the recording as well on YouTube, that according to these MAE numbers, there's nothing to be scared about. Our Steel Stewart's word that he said, that's the dance that happens, right? So it went against you, but look at where our stop was, right? I told you, on your account statements, on your broker account statements, all this that it went against you, that won't appear anymore. It's a facade. The reason why we are so confident, even when it went against us in real time, in showing you, is because of all this market structure and the stats and the volume analysis that both of us are doing over here. Look at the conviction that even Gavin said, just watch. It will break those levels, and look, it did happen, not in hindsight, in real time. Right? Over here, we said that if we wanted to go to the 40 pip number, right, on the MAE side of things, this is what I'm telling you guys. When you combine both, it's incredible. What you guys have to understand is, start to realize the truth in front of you. Stop running around. Because you just running around is just going to delay your time to get profitable and consistent, become a consistent trader, right? So this is what you need to get to. Right, so let me just show that one more time again. So here, right, so this is where the confirmation on the 1 hour happened, right, over here. And then we took a look at the numbers and we said 40 pips, right, is where you would put your stop, where you won't get hit 98% of the time. And look, right, it did go against you with the spike of the bar, which you saw on the 15-minute time frame over here, right? Which was those 2 green bars. But after that, look, and we saw that in real time, and it still keeps going. In terms of one of the target levels, yes, 30-40 has been reached. But remember, this is just on one strategy, right? Remember what I told you guys? The other thing that I also told you in terms of market structure, which is also what Gavin has seen on the analysis with the volume structure as well. Across all time frames, it's a downtrend phase 1. Go and watch back the recording. And that's when you can have another strategy tree where you let it run towards a much bigger target of 20 or 10% OE. So these are the things that we're going to be talking about much more in detail in relation to the Tenerife event in Spain. Okay. Now, in terms of the DAX over here, what I've observed, you see, not every trade is going to go towards your range, but you must know as a professional how to manage it, right? And we are not shy about showing you trades that didn't work or not, because that's not a professional, isn't it, right? So you see, it went very near to the target. Look at the reversal. I was checking as Gavin was talking on the 15-minute, right? So I know that most of the time when it gets to that level of the range level, it should carry on with it, not with this selling that happens. So then we trailed it to come out for a small break-even point. Okay, so that's what happened over here on the on this analysis over here. All right. So on the DAX, we just almost a little bit broke even, very small loss. Whereas on the cable, we've gone through our target here in real time, and then we have ended up profitable. Again, another day three of net profit that you're seeing in real time from both me and Gavin, and both the indicators complementing each other. I think with that, I know we are running out of time quite a bit. I will just show you all a recap. I know a lot of you have expressed a lot of interest in coming to the Tenerife event. I had straight away some messages yesterday, and it's getting booked up quite fast as well. So just a quick recap. In terms of the links to learn about these methodologies, first thing is 7 Steps to CTP at 7stepsctp.com, Consistent Trading Performance, CTP stands for. The other one, Trading in the Shadow of the Smart Money, tradeguider.com is where you need to go to. Now, once you have gone to that website over there, let me just show you that. That's your 7stepsctp.com over there. In terms of the Trade Guider website, when you click on this one here, tradeguider.com, then you can go towards here, put your email and name, and you get the book, Shadow of the Smart Money as well. The other thing also that you can take a look at when you go to Trade to Win, if you want to get hold of the indicators, both the indicators, right? Let me just say this, open link in new tab. And once we do that one there, you can go under packages, go to SMI, you get both of it, which is the SMI and the VSA softwares together. So you can go through that and take a look at that as well. The other thing also I did want to mention, one-to-one coaching session. Some of you already booked it in. You can go to this page over here. The slots have been booked up quite a bit already for this month. If you can find something preferable, that's great. If you can't, just email us. We'll see what we can do for you guys, okay, if there's availability, or email us. The other thing is then as a lot of you have asked about it, Elite Traders Mastermind Annual Summit. Now imagine that this is just on virtual, right? That we're talking about everything, you know, this on this live trading week. Now imagine just within this small 1 hour, 1.5 hours, what we're doing. Imagine how much we can accomplish with 2 full days of immersion, right? With both of us. It's going to be an amazing event. It's an annual summit. We're going to be doing it yearly as well, where also there's going to be some great minds and passionate, committed traders, those guys who have put all this together, even all these indicators and all of that, coded us, just guys who just started off just like you guys from both our Master the Markets and Trade Guide. You're going to meet them all. It's going to be an amazing event. We're also going to be going through quite a lot of great content and a lot of nice social as well. It's going to be on the 15th and 16th of November, where it's going to be cold over here in the UK and the US. It'd be nice to go off to somewhere warm, so beautiful there. All meals will be included. For both days, there'll be the lunch, and then on the first evening, there'll be on the beautiful dinner in the amazing El Mirador restaurant overlooking the ocean, right? I've mentioned this before. I've been to many hotels in the world, but this is one of the best ones. And it's a beautiful golf course, humongous, so big. They got a private beach as well. And all, you know, they got all the cabbie rides and everything, you know, which they will shuttle you and everything. It's amazing, I must say. And a lot of presidents from all over the world, presidents from the United States and other parts of the world have come to stay in this hotel. So it's really, really beautiful. And of course, it's the Ritz-Carlton. It's one of the best Ritz-Carltons, I must say, in the world, you know. That's in Tenerife. Beautiful weather. It's going to be about 25, 26 degrees. Some parts of the hotel. Beautiful, breathtaking ocean where we'll be having our first evening dinner. What we're going to be going through over there, quite a lot of stuff. We're going to be going through 5 main research updates, going to go through a lot of price and volume analysis. A lot of the content would have, what we're going to go through and everything would have been sent by email. We're preparing the page as we speak. Hopefully be ready by end of this week. We can show it to you as well. And then also all towards, boosting your strategy to become sustainable, scalable, and reproducible so that you can achieve consistent performance. Okay. So that's what is going to happen on the Elytris Mastermind Annual Summit. Those of you who want more information on it, you can email us client service or sales@tradeguider.com. Remember that yesterday's email will also given you a discount code as well, according to your membership levels as well. So you can take a look out for that. If you've got any questions, of course, then email either one of us. Okay. I guess that's pretty much that from me. Gavin, Glenn, if you want to put the order file, I think for those people viewing it from YouTube, if they want to take up any of the spaces, I think there's a short time frame where you can take it. There'd be a small discount code as well, which we gave yesterday as well, which you guys can take a look at. Gavin, anything else you want to add on?
Real simple. Believe in yourself. Really, real important. Okay. Know that the markets do move on supply and demand, which we've shown today. And ultimately, yeah, come and meet us, because I think, my son, that's a story I'll tell quickly. He's gone to pretty much travel in areas that I would never go personally, but he's done it. And he's gone to me, he's emailed me, he said, well, Dad, I'm in Guatemala, I'm in Costa Rica, I'm in this. And do you know, the one thing I admire is he's done it. And I really respect that, because I'm looking at him saying, well, okay, why would you go to Costa Rica? And here is the story that he just sent me. He said, Dad, I'm looking after crocodiles. What? Yeah, I'm looking after crocodiles. I went, well, that's really bad, because ultimately they are like an upthrust. They bite. And yeah, and I know Tira's going to go, oh yeah, that is absolutely what happened. What you've learned today about the price action is true. It cannot be faked, because you've seen it every single moment. Now, whether you look at what we're doing as a team, which we are, the prices were hit, but why? I want you to go and look at the charts, because the volume, to me, is absolutely vital to learning. With that being said, I'm very, very grateful to all of you for your time. And Tira and I look forward to meeting you in, hopefully, well, we think it's going to happen in Spain. So, Tiru, back over to you.
All right, guys, I think that's pretty much it for today. I think I've seen that all in live. Once again, great trading day on day 3. Tomorrow we'll be going through the time stats. How long does it take to get to your target? Quick recap what we've covered so far. On the first day, we looked at concept objective. We looked at the stretch principle as well. Then on day 1, on day 2, yesterday, we looked at open equity, right? And then today we looked at MAE, maximum adverse excursion, and we're applying all this in real time and building up your knowledge and making you see that, this is in real time. These principles keep recurring again and again and again. Okay. I guess that's pretty much that for today. I'll see you all later on our interview with Tom Baso. That's going to be an awesome one as well. do get to our YouTube channel, put the notification button on, and I'll see you there, right? I think that's pretty much that as a wrap up for today. Thanks for coming, guys. And as we always say, till the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a monk.